narcissists can't be happy with you, but they also can't have it that you're happy without them. And that's one of their biggest dilemmas once they've connected with somebody in their life, somebody who's played an important part, somebody who's been good supply in their eyes, is that they reach that tipping point with everybody where they just can't keep on the facade anymore. They can't keep on these grand gestures, these love bombing gestures, because they just don't have it in them anymore. That initial investment phase has worn itself out, and now the narcissist can't really tolerate the person's presence very much unless they're devaluing that person. And it's through that devaluation that they end up pushing people away, or they just discard the person at some point. But once the narcissist is no longer in your life, they want to see to it that you are not happy without them. And that's why narcissists, when they leave relationships, they try to set the scene such that the other person will be in a bad place for a long time. So, for example, if you had a married couple and the narcissist was the one who worked and they split up, it could be that the spouse maybe didn't work, wasn't financially independent. It could be that the narcissist gets very good lawyers to make sure that they pay very low alimony to the ex-partner, so that person can't live a good life without the narcissist anymore. That's just an example. Or the narcissist might just smear the person so badly that the other person's relationships with their family, friends is just tainted. Or they just leave the person in such a psychological, devastating place that they'll struggle to just kind of put their head up, go out and pursue things in life that are worth their while. And a lot of times people are left in such a devastated mental state that they end up having to quit their jobs because they just can't perform, things like that. But that whole point is hard for so many people to digest. Like, if the narcissist doesn't want to live with you, if they can't be happy with you, they can't see you two as having a good relationship. Why can't they just let you be? And again, it all comes down to the way the narcissist views the world. If they see that you're happy and they're not, they see that you're winning and they're losing, and they can never be the one on the losing end. They're always comparing themselves to people, especially the people who are close to them or who have been close to them before. People who they've controlled at some point, had leverage over at some point. And if you were that person, then they just struggle to accept the idea that you're happy and they're not. And that's why if you do separate from the narcissist and you start to do good things for yourself, and then you're having a fulfilling life, you're receiving a lot of good things into your life, good people, good experiences, perhaps financial abundance in health, interest, all these things that make your life worth living. And the narcissist sees that, then they think one of two things. They either want to share in the fruits of your efforts, they want to take part in your fulfilling life, or they want to take you down. And often when they come in with this hoover, this feigned interest at wanting to reconcile with you, it's really them just wanting to get that foot in where they become a part of your life again. But because they have nothing genuine and good to offer on a sustainable basis, and they quickly become envious of you, and then they become resentful and they feel the need to punish you, they'll do just that. They'll try to punish you, through their intense devaluation, and sometimes they'll scheme things behind the scenes for you to fail at certain things in your life. And then they leave again. And then you might spend the next couple of months or years or even longer trying to pick the pieces back up. It's just the way they operate. And that's why it's so good just when you manage to cut contact with them. And where initially they were such a big part of your life in so many ways, your attention, your heart, your plans, everything was centered around the idea of them. Once they're not part of your life anymore, there's a huge void. But once you manage to fill that void that they left with other things, maybe new hobbies, new activities, new ventures of any sort that pleases you, just many things that maybe you were not pursuing when you were with them, or perhaps things about yourself that you were neglecting before. once you start filling the void with these things, recentering yourself, then that's the best place you can be. But that's also the most dangerous in a sense. That's where the narcissist might want to come back. So that's where you have to make sure you keep them shut out and you keep the boundaries very high. So when you step away from the narcissist and things start working out for you well, your life is good again. That's where you have to be absolutely sure that no matter how convincing the narcissist is trying to come back into your life, no matter what pity story they have, what revelations they said they've had about how they didn't treat you right and how they're changed or getting therapy, you can't take them seriously because they'll just try to take you down.